They say the truth will set you free, but it sure as hell ruins breakfast. I was staring at a pancake shaped like Texas when my whole damn life came crashing down. But let me back up a bit before we get to the syrupy mess. I met Katie in college. She had that fiery red hair, smart mouth, and could drink most of the guys under the table. I was sold by the third date. We got married 6 years ago, settled in a modest 3-bedroom in Knoxville, got a golden retriever named Duke, and talked about starting a family someday. She was a nurse, pulling long shifts and coming home dead tired, and I was running a local auto body shop with my brother. Life wasn't glamorous, but it was ours. Or so I thought. The first time I noticed something was off, it was so small it didn't even register. We were at her friend Marcy's birthday party, and I saw Katie texting under the table. She's always been private with her phone, but this time it was different. She looked up mid-message, caught me looking, and said, "It's just Marcy, talking crap about Carol's new boyfriend. You don't want to know." Fair enough. Seemed legit. But I had that weird gut feeling, you know, the kind that comes up like bad chili. I shook it off. We got home, and she passed out on the couch like she usually did after 2 margaritas. I chalked it up to me overthinking. A week or so later, she started going to the gym. Now don't get me wrong, I'm all for staying healthy, and Katie's always been into yoga and that sort of thing. But this was a new gym across town, one that wasn't open late, and suddenly she was going after her shifts, rolling in at midnight some nights, sweaty and flushed. When I asked her about it, she laughed and said, "What, are you worried I'm hooking up with my spin instructor, Chuck?" Like it was the dumbest thing in the world. I wasn't. Not yet, anyway. Then came the perfume. She's never been big on scents, said it made her sneeze. But suddenly there's a fancy little bottle on the bathroom counter, some French-sounding name I couldn't pronounce. I mentioned it jokingly. Trying to seduce the mailman or what? She gave me a look like I was the idiot. "You don't notice anything unless it's a beer label," she said, spraying it right in front of me before heading out. Figured I'd try something new. Now look, I'm not the jealous type. I've had female friends, she's had guy friends, and we've always trusted each other. That was the whole damn foundation of our marriage. So I told myself, "Chuck, you're being a damn fool. She's working hard, trying to take care of herself, maybe trying to spice things up. Ain't that what you wanted?" But the little things kept stacking up. One night she left her Apple Watch at home while she went to the store. The screen lit up with a message from LJ, a name I didn't recognize. It said, "Still thinking about last night. You're unreal." Now, here's where I could have lost it. Thrown the watch, called her, driven to the damn grocery store. But I didn't. I told myself it could be a friend, or some inside joke I didn't get. I'd never heard her mention an LJ before, but who knows? People have coworkers, gym buddies, folks from book clubs I don't keep track of. So I waited. I asked her that night, casual as a beer on a Friday. "Hey, who's LJ? That a new friend from work?" She froze for just a beat. 1 second, maybe less. But I saw it. Her face went flat, and then she smiled, too wide. "Oh, that's Lauren Jenkins. She's a nurse on the night shift. We've been texting about going to that candlemaking class." Candlemaking? Now that's rich. Still, I didn't push. I played dumb, because honestly, I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe that the woman I married wasn't capable of lying to my face like that. Hell, she even showed me a picture of some group of nurses at a bar, said Lauren was the blonde on the end. I nodded like I believed her, even though there wasn't a number in her phone under Lauren Jenkins. I started to feel like I was losing it. You ever feel that? Like you're the crazy one for noticing the weird stuff, while everyone else just sails on by. That's where I was. Trying to balance being a loving husband with the sneaking suspicion that something wasn't adding up. Then came the weekend trip to her sister's in Asheville. She was gone 3 days. Didn't want me to come, said it was just girl time, and her sister was going through a rough patch. I didn't argue. Gave her a kiss goodbye, watched her drive off, and spent the weekend cleaning out the garage and drinking beer with Duke. But Sunday night, I noticed something. She'd left her laptop on the kitchen counter. Open but asleep. I'm not proud of what I did next, but hell, sometimes a man just knows. I opened it up, expecting maybe to find Pinterest boards or recipe searches. Instead, I found her email open. And there it was. A flight confirmation. Not to Asheville. To Atlanta. Now, I didn't jump to conclusions. Maybe she changed her mind, maybe her sister was there, maybe they were meeting halfway. I gave her the benefit of the doubt, because that's what you do when you love someone. But something inside me was waking up. Some old, stubborn part of me that don't take kindly to being played for a fool. So I waited. Played it cool. And the next week, I decided the problem wasn't her. It was me. Hell, maybe I was the one feeling guilty. I had lunch with my ex 2 weeks back, completely innocent, but I didn't tell Katie. Not because I was hiding something, but because I knew she'd blow it out of proportion. So maybe this was my guilt manifesting in all these little suspicions. Maybe I was projecting. So I did what any man trying to save his marriage would do. I let it go. Bought her flowers. Cooked her dinner. Rubbed her feet after work. I even booked us a little weekend getaway to the lake cabin her uncle owns. Thought maybe we just needed to reconnect, like old times. And for a little while, it worked. She laughed more. Touched me more. We even made love that weekend, and it felt like we were 20 again. I thought, damn, Chuck, you really almost screwed this up. She ain't cheating. You just been stuck in your own head. But sometimes, peace is just the eye of the storm. And that storm was about to come back with a vengeance. The thing about convincing yourself everything's fine is, it usually means it ain't. But for a couple weeks, I rode the high. Katie was sweeter, more affectionate. She even started leaving those little sticky notes again. Have a great day, love you, on my lunchbox. Hell, she even put a smiley face. I'd see that little heart she drew and think, damn, maybe I really did just need to get out of my own way. But then the weird little things started creeping back in. Nothing dramatic. Just off. Like she started wearing lingerie again, but only when I wasn't around. I'd find it in the hamper, lacy little things I hadn't seen on her in years. But when we were together? Pajama pants and an old Bon Jovi t-shirt. I mentioned it once, kinda playfully. Hey, when am I gonna get the fancy stuff? And she laughed and said, oh, that old thing? I was just trying it on. It didn't even fit right. She also got real into drinking wine alone. She was always more of a beer and football type gal, but now it was Rose and true crime podcasts after work, with the door closed. She said it helped her decompress. Fair enough. But the more time she spent decompressing, the less she spent with me. I'd knock on the bedroom door and hear her scramble to pause something, like she didn't want me hearing whatever was playing. Sometimes it was just silence. Now, I wasn't sitting there with binoculars and a wiretap, all right? I wasn't snooping through her drawers or sniffing the sheets. But I started paying closer attention. Just little things. Her phone was always face down. She stopped using the garage entrance, started going through the front door like we didn't even have a perfectly good mudroom. Her car smelled like cologne one night. Not her perfume. Cologne. That one got me. I casually asked. You pick up some new air freshener? She blinked. Oh no, I think someone at work hugged me. One of the patients. He wears too much. Huh. All right. Then came the group chat. We were watching TV one night, reruns of Frasier, I think, and her phone went off. She jumped like someone fired a starter pistol. Snatched it off the couch before I could even glance. I chuckled and said, relax, secret agent, it's probably just Marcy sending a meme. She smiled tight. Yeah, it's our work group chat. They're being stupid. But she didn't laugh. Didn't even open it, just locked the screen and stuck it in her pocket like it was radioactive. I didn't push. I just logged it away. Then she started talking about wanting space. Not in a dramatic way, more like casual comments. Maybe I'll do a girls' weekend again soon. Or, I think I need to go hiking by myself sometime, clear my head. I'm all for solo time. But paired with the late nights, the perfume, the cologne car, and now the secret messages, it started stacking up like firewood. Still, I told myself, Chuck, you're not gonna be that guy. The paranoid one. You already accused her once in your head, and look how things turned around. You gotta trust her until you can't. So I kept playing it cool. Figured maybe I needed to step up my game. I even asked her if she wanted to go to couples counseling, not because I thought we were broken, but because I figured it'd show her I was invested. She scoffed. Chuck, are you serious? We're fine. You're just overthinking everything again. This is why I need space sometimes, because you're always looking for problems. That one stung. But I nodded and let it go. Now here's where it gets real strange. She got a new phone. Didn't tell me. I only found out because I noticed she stopped using the cracked one she always had, the one with the pink glittery case. She was suddenly carrying some sleek black thing with no case at all. I asked, You upgrade? She blinked like I'd caught her off guard. Oh yeah? It died. I told you, remember? No. She hadn't. At this point, I knew something was up. But I still didn't have proof. Just a gut full of suspicions and a dog who looked at me like he knew, too. Duke stopped going to the door when she came home. Just laid there on the rug, like even he didn't trust what was walking through it. One night, after she fell asleep early on the couch, like she always does after a wine bottle's worth of decompressing, her new phone buzzed. Loud. I leaned over to check the screen. Not to open anything, just to see. Message preview. Next time I won't let you go home that easy. No name. No emoji. Just that line. I sat there for a long time, watching her breathe. I didn't wake her. I didn't yell. I didn't do a damn thing but pet Duke and wonder what the hell I was supposed to believe anymore. Next day, I called in sick to work. I needed time. Time to think. Time to figure out if I was gonna go full-on PI, or just wait for the truth to show itself. And then, as if the universe wanted to throw me one more curveball, she told me she was pregnant. Yep. Walked into the kitchen on a Saturday morning, holding a test, smiling like she won the damn lottery. Now you'd think that'd be a moment of joy. And part of me did feel something. Shock, confusion, a little hope maybe. But mostly I felt panic. Because nothing about the last few months said, "This woman's trying to build a family with you." Still I smiled. Hugged her. Kissed her forehead. Said all the right things. I even told her I was happy. She cried big, joyful tears. Said she was nervous I wouldn't want it, but that this felt like a blessing. I nodded. Inside, I was already making a plan. Because here's the thing. If that baby's mine, I'll be the best damn father I can be. But if it's not, then Katie's lies just got a due date. After the baby news dropped, things took a weird turn. Katie was glowing, I'll give her that. Suddenly she was the doting wife again, making breakfast, folding my laundry without making a face, even started calling me, babe, again like we were back in the honeymoon phase. And for a few weeks, I let myself enjoy it. Let myself believe maybe the pregnancy changed something in her. Maybe it pulled her back to Earth and out of whatever galaxy she'd drifted into. But deep down, I couldn't shake the timing. That baby could be mine. Sure. We'd been intimate, though not as often as we used to. But if we're being honest, it wasn't exactly fireworks and hot tubs lately. More like maintenance. Practical. Quick. Still, I told myself, Chuck, maybe you've been wrong this whole time. Maybe all those suspicious messages and weird gym visits and after-hours shifts were just coincidences. Maybe her job's really been that stressful. Maybe LJ really is just some bubbly nurse named Lauren. And maybe I'm the jackass who let his own paranoia nearly screw up his marriage. So I did what men like me do when we want to move past something, we bury it. I got focused on the baby. Started making plans. Painted the extra bedroom a soft green. Installed the crib we didn't need yet. I even pulled out my old baby blanket from a storage box and set it on the dresser like some kind of emotional peace offering. Katie loved it. Said I was being so sweet. And this is the guy I married. That should have felt good. But something about her saying that stung. Like she was talking to a version of me she hadn't seen in a while. Like she was faking a memory. Then she dropped a bomb on me one night while we were brushing our teeth. I think I want to do this on my own. I stopped mid-brush. Come again? She leaned against the doorframe, arms crossed. I've been thinking. I might want to have the baby at my sister's. You know, stay there for a while. Get support. A fresh space. I spit into the sink, wiped my mouth. Katie, we're married. What the hell are you talking about? It's not like that, she said quick, eyes darting. I just need some time to think. This happened so fast. I stared at her. What's fast? We've been trying on and off for 2 years. Yeah, but... She hesitated, then shrugged. I don't know, Chuck. Things are complicated. Complicated. That's when I knew she was up to something. I didn't say a damn word. Just nodded, turned off the bathroom light, and went to bed. That was the night I decided to stop pretending. No more playing the fool. No more looking the other way. I wasn't gonna accuse her. I wasn't gonna fight. I was gonna watch. Wait. And when the time came, I'd make sure she never saw it coming. The next few weeks were all smiles and baby prep on the surface, but underneath? Tension so thick you could cut it with a butter knife. She kept planning these solo errands, Target runs, prenatal yoga, meeting her sister for brunch, and every time she left, I watched her drive off, memorized the time, tracked how long she was gone. One Saturday, I followed her. Now look, I ain't proud of it. I don't want to be the guy tailing his own wife through downtown like some washed-up detective. But I had to know. And sure enough, she didn't go to her sister's. She went to a little cafe on the east side. Sat outside, all dolled up in a sundress and lipstick she hadn't worn in years. I parked across the street, low in my truck seat like I was hunting deer. And then he showed up. Tall. Tan. Maybe 10 years younger than me, if that. Slick hair, expensive sunglasses, and a shirt so tight it looked like it was painted on. He kissed her cheek like they were in some romantic comedy, and she giggled. I saw her reach across the table and touch his wrist. They talked for a long while. Then they got up and walked around the corner, out of my line of sight. I sat there, staring at my hands, trying to keep from punching my steering wheel in half. But I didn't blow up. Not yet. See, the old me would have stormed in, flipped the table, made a scene. But this new me, the one Katie thought was soft and sweet and back to painting nurseries? He had a different plan. I let her come home that night, smiling like nothing happened. I kissed her cheek. Told her she looked beautiful. And then I stayed up late doing research. I dug into the data, looked up timelines, tracked phone records, dug into the cloud backup from our old shared Google account she forgot still existed. Found messages. Deleted photos. A second Instagram account linked to an old email. There he was again. Same guy. His name was Logan. Or, as her phone labeled him, LJ. It hit me like a 2x4 to the chest. LJ wasn't a nurse. He wasn't from work. He was the man putting a baby in my wife. Maybe. Because here's where things get interesting. Katie had told me she was 8 weeks pregnant. But according to her texts with Logan, they hadn't seen each other in over 12 weeks. Now I ain't a math genius, but I know how calendars work. And suddenly, just like that, a seed of doubt started growing in both directions. Because if she lied about Logan being recent, what if the baby wasn't his? What if, in the end, I was the one playing myself? Or worse, what if we were both just side characters in Katie's twisted little drama? Either way, I knew what I had to do next. It wasn't going to be loud. It wasn't going to be violent. It was going to be surgical. Clean. Precise. Because if she wanted to gamble with my trust? She had no idea how good I was at playing the long game. And buddy, I was holding all the cards. Things were quiet for a while after the maternity shoot and all that baby prep. Too quiet. Like the kind of quiet you hear in a western right before the guns start firing. You know something's comin', but the wind just keeps blowin' and the folks on Main Street keep pretendin' everything's fine. Katie was all smiles and nesting instincts, foldin' tiny clothes, humming in the kitchen. Hell, she even baked banana bread like she was auditioning for one of those cozy cable shows. But I could feel it. That low hum in the back of your skull that says this ain't real. It was all too perfect. Like she was readin' from a script. She'd started a little countdown chalkboard on the fridge. Baby Ryder coming in 122 days, she wrote, with a heart next to it. Cute. Except every time I looked at it, all I could think was, what if that baby don't have my damn last name? But I kept my mouth shut. Because I still didn't know. Not really. And until I did, there was nothing to do but play the long game. Katie went back to work on a reduced shift schedule. Said the doc didn't want her overdoing it. Fair enough. But her new, part-time, gig sure didn't seem to line up with her hours. She'd leave at 10 in the morning and not roll in until after dark. I asked her once, "You pullin' double shifts at Starbucks too, or what?" She laughed it off. "You know hospitals, Chuck. I'm lucky if they don't call me in at midnight." Funny thing is, no one ever called her. Not once. Not while I was around anyway. Then there was the package. I found it one evening after work. Sitting on the front porch like a dog waiting to be let in. Brown box, no label, just her name scrawled on top. From LJ again. I damn near broke my molars grinding my teeth when I saw that. I brought it inside, set it on the counter, and waited. Didn't open it, wasn't mine to open. But when she came home and saw it, her face locked up like a poker player with a weak hand. "Oh, that's, from Lauren. From work. She's loaning me her pregnancy pillow." I nodded. Weird packaging for a pillow. Katie smiled too quick. She's artsy. Likes to make things personal. Uh-huh. She picked up the box and disappeared into the bedroom like it was a damn state secret. I didn't follow. Didn't ask. I just added it to the list in my head, things that didn't make sense. And that list was getting long. She also started going to the doctor more often. Not her regular OB, some specialist, she said she'd been referred to. Said it was routine for high-risk pregnancies, even though she wasn't high-risk last I heard. Every time I offered to go with her, she had a reason I shouldn't. "You've got work." Or, "It's just a quick thing." Or my personal favorite, "You'd just be bored." Like hell I would. I'd sit through a 6-hour knitting class if it meant knowing what was going on. But she wasn't letting me in. So I started thinking, maybe she was ashamed. Maybe she had done something. Not necessarily now, but before. Maybe she wasn't sure whose baby it was. Maybe that's what all this tap dancing was about. I almost convinced myself to confront her. I came this close one night when we were watching TV. She was leaned up against me, my hand on her belly, and I just about asked her point blank, "Katie, are you telling me the truth?" But then she looked up at me, eyes all soft, and whispered, "He kicked when you touched him." So I swallowed it. Again. I told myself, "Chuck, you're too far in now. Let the truth come to you." And it almost did. I'd been keeping track of dates, right? Her due date. The night she told me she was pregnant, the last time we'd been together before that. I even pulled out a calendar and started counting backwards like some kind of lovelorn detective. And the math? It was just close enough to be possible. Barely. Like a foot on the goal line. So maybe it was mine. Maybe all the weirdness was just pregnancy brain, or hormones, or hell, maybe she was the one freaking out and didn't know how to say it. I was driving myself nuts. One day I'd be packing the hospital bag with a goofy smile on my face, and the next I'd be sitting in the truck with the engine off, staring at the driveway like it held all the answers. Then came the baby shower. Her sister threw it. It was one of those backyard deals: folding chairs, pink lemonade, little cupcakes shaped like rattles. I wasn't even supposed to be there, just showing up at the end to haul gifts. But I came early. And thank God I did. Because I caught the tail end of a conversation between Katie and some girl I didn't recognize, blonde, tall, way too familiar with my wife. They didn't see me. I was behind the fence, light in a smoke. The blonde said, "So is it gonna be Logan's name or yours on the birth certificate?" Katie laughed. One of those fake little snorts she does when she's trying to brush off something that hits too close. "Let's not talk about that right now." Then they both turned and went inside. I stood there for a long time, staring at the spot where they'd been. Logan. Again. It could have been a joke. Could have been nothing. But the way she laughed? The way she didn't deny it? My stomach dropped. I didn't blow up. Didn't storm in. I walked back to the truck, turned the key, and just sat there with my hands on the wheel. That was the moment I stopped wondering. I didn't know yet. But I knew. So I did what any man would do when he feels the storm about to hit. I started getting ready. Because if Katie was gonna drop a bomb on me, I sure as hell wasn't gonna stand there empty-handed. And what I had? Well, let's just say, it was about to flip the whole damn script. 3 weeks before the due date, Katie walked into the kitchen like she'd just solved world peace. "I picked the name," she said, laying a little pink onesie on the table. "It's perfect." I looked down. Logan Rose. My stomach went cold. Not just from the name, though, yeah, that hit like a tire iron to the ribs, but from how damn comfortable she was. Like she hadn't been lying to my face for months. I didn't say a word. Just nodded. "Nice name." She beamed like I'd handed her an award. "I knew you'd like it." I'd already opened the DNA results a week before that. Turns out, I was right all along. That baby wasn't mine. Not a shadow of a doubt. Not a maybe or a borderline or a lab error. Straight up 0% probability of paternity. When I read it, I didn't rage. I didn't cry. I didn't even feel surprised. I just felt free. Everything I'd been feeling, every half-lie, every twitch in her eye, every stupid girls' weekend, finally lined up. It was like watching the last puzzle piece click into place, and seeing the picture for what it really was. Now, a younger version of me might have lit the whole place on fire. But not this Chuck. This Chuck wanted it to hurt, quietly, and in front of an audience. So I waited. Waited for the hospital room. Waited for the nurses. Waited for Katie to be lying in that bed, tired and sweaty, and smiling like she just pulled off the con of the century. When the baby came, I held her hand. Kissed her forehead. I even told her she was strong and beautiful. Played it all up like I was the proud dad. Family came in, all cheery and loud. Her sister, her mom, a couple friends from work. Everyone taking turns cooing over the baby, calling me Daddy Chuck, like I hadn't just been kicked in the gut by genetics. Then, once things settled down, I stood up. "Hey," I said, voice calm. "Before we all go too far, I just want to say something." Katie smiled up at me, tired but glowing. What?" I looked around the room. "I'm not the father." You could have heard a pin drop. I pulled the folded paper out of my back pocket, the DNA test, and set it gently on the tray table beside her. "Had it done a few weeks back. Just needed to know for sure." Her face drained. All that color gone like someone pulled the plug on her soul. What are you talking about?" she stammered. I didn't answer. Just turned to her mom. "I figured y'all might want to know before you go monogramming anything." And then I walked out. Didn't yell. Didn't wait for a reaction. Just walked out of that hospital like I'd finished my shift and clocked out for the last time. Later that week, I had the papers drawn up. Divorce, full release of any responsibility, and a polite little note to Katie that read, Call Logan. He's got a kid now. Best part? I'd already drained our joint account, my half, moved my things into a buddy's lake cabin, and transferred the truck title out of her name. She wanted a fresh start. Well, she got it. Only now, she's startin' from zero. And me? I've never felt lighter. Truth is, she played a long game. But she forgot, I play to win.